Hi everyone, welcome to the 30th module of GKToday's Banking Awareness course. Today's topic is lending risk and non-performing assets. I'm Mitrisha from GKToday and let us begin. What is the time period for a term loan to be classified as NPA? Correct answer is 90 days. According to RBI, term loans on which interest or installment of principal remains overdue for a period of more than 90 days from the end of a particular quarter is called a non-performing asset. After how many crop seasons an unpaid short duration farm loan will be classified as NPA? So as we learned, for a term loan, it is usually 90 days from the end of a particular quarter. However, for farm loans, it is different. Correct answer here is 2 crop seasons. For short duration crop agricultural loans such as paddy, jowar, bajra, etc., if the loan, whether installment or interest, is not paid for 2 crop seasons, it would be termed as a non-performing asset. What is the time period for the long duration crops to be termed as NPA? So it is different from short duration crops and long duration crops. In case of long duration crops, the term is 1 crop season. So this is different from short duration crops because for that it is 2 crop seasons. What are the funds that are set aside by the banks as fraction to the loans known as? Correct answer is provisioning coverage ratio. So for every loan that is given out, the banks keep aside some extra funds to cover up losses if something goes wrong with those loans. This is known as provisioning. That is, they are keeping some amount safe in case they lose out on the whole amount. Provisioning coverage ratio refers to the funds to be set aside by the banks as a fraction of the loans. What do we call a loan which remains NPA or non-performing for a period less than or equal to 12 months? Correct answer is substandard asset. So banks are required to classify non-performing assets further into 3 main categories. These are substandard, doubtful and loss, based on period from which the asset has remained non-performing. Now this is as per transition of a loan from standard loan to loss asset. So it begins with substandard asset where if the borrower does not pay dues for 90 days, after the end of a quarter, the loan becomes a non-performing asset and it is termed special mention account. So the loan account becomes special mention account. If this loan remains in this account state for a period less than or equal to 12 months, it is termed as substandard asset. In this case, the bank has to make provisioning according to some different criteria. The first criteria is 15% of outstanding amount in case of secured loans, that is loans which have been taken out against some security, and 25% in case of loans outstanding which are unsecured loans. What is a doubtful asset? Correct answer is when the substandard asset goes over a period of 12 months. So option A in this case. If substandard asset remains so for a period of 12 more months, it would be termed as doubtful asset. This remains so till the end of the 3rd year. So 12 months to 3rd years is when it is doubtful asset. In this case, provisioning again becomes different. Up to 1 year, that is 12 months to another year, 25% of outstanding amount in case of secured loans and 100% of outstanding amount in case of unsecured loan. In case of 1 to 3 years, the outstanding amount against secured loans becomes 40%, but the outstanding amount against unsecured loans remain 100%. And whenever it reaches more than 3 years, it becomes 100% of the amount, whether it is secured loan or unsecured loan. When was SARFAESI Act enacted? So SARFAESI stands for Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest, and it was enacted in 2002. So the Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Asset and Enforcement of Security Interest Act, it has provisions for banks to take legal recourse to cover their dues, and when a borrower makes any default in repayment and their account is classified as NPA, the secured creditor has to issue a notice to the borrower giving them 60 days to pay their dues. If the dues are not paid, the bank can take possession of the assets and can also give it on a lease or sell it. As per provisions of this Act, it does not apply to unsecured loans, loans below rupees 100,000 or rupees 1 lakh, or where remaining debt is below 20% of the original principal. What is the primary aim of enacting the SARFAESI Act? So this is pretty simple. You should be able to answer this. Of course, it's option A, to recover loans. This is to have a legal way to recover loans. Where is the SARFAESI Act not applicable? We have just discussed this. So where are SARFAESI Act, in which all cases is this Act applicable? They are applicable on secured loans alone, which means not on unsecured loans. They are applicable to loans above 1 lakh only, which means it is not applicable to loans below 1 lakh. And they are applicable to loans where the remaining debt is more than 20% of the original principal, which means option C is also out. And the question was, where is it not applicable, which means it's not applicable in any of the above. So option D is the correct answer. What is termed as loss asset? Correct answer is substandard asset for more than 3 years. If a loan is not repaid even after it has remained in substandard form for more than 3 years, it may be identified as unrecoverable by internal or external audit, and it would be called loss asset. And a non-performing asset can declare loss only if it has been identified to be so by some internal or external auditor. That's all for this quiz. If you like this, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Keep subscribing to GK Today for more such content. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.